Good evening and welcome. My name's Elliot Lamb from Boomsatsuma, and I'm really grateful that you could join us for this stream tonight. If you couldn't make it down to Bristol but you're really keen to know what we're doing at Boomsatsuma, this is a great opportunity to do it. What we're going to do through the course of this stream is you're going to hear from our course leaders about the courses that are on offer for you to apply for. We're then going to go to a live Q&A panel with our students where you can ask questions at home. We're then going to go to a staff Q&A panel where you can ask some of our lecturers and some of our technical staff any questions that you've got as well. As a last bit, we're just going to give you some more information about sort of student life at Boom. All the things that people worry about, but we promise you don't need to because we're here to help. Accommodation, student finance, how you apply, how you ask us any questions, all of that kind of stuff. I'm very much looking forward to it. And to kick us off, to get us started, I'd like to introduce Greg Jamieson, who leads our Game Art Bachelor of Arts Honours degree.
My name's Greg Jamieson. I'm the course leader for Game Art at Tobacco Factory in Bristol. The course is really about the application of games technologies throughout multiple disciplines, although we do have a big focus on the asset and art creation side for games and for VR. We also look at the application of games engines in film, in industry, medicine, engineering, and really what can students do with the technology, whether it's the hardware or the software. We're interested in students experimenting and seeing what they can do with the technology, as well as making awesome games. In year one, it's mainly asset creation, where they get to model environments, characters, vehicles, texture and paint those assets, and bring them to life through animation, and readying for year two, where they'll be using motion capture techniques and all sorts of other hardware and technologies to bring their universes and their worlds to life. Year two is all about production, so getting to grips with the games engine and bringing in the assets that were created in year one, getting them to function, building experiences, simulations, games, virtual productions, and really making those assets have utility and function and be able to do stuff commercially and recreationally within games engines. In year three, they get to contextualize what they've learned. So as well as their capstone project, where they have a year to develop and build whatever they want, any platform, VR, virtual production, traditional games, as long as they use a game engine, we don't care. But they also get to contextualize what they know by studying the science and the theory and the effects of interactive and immersive technologies, how that affects people psychologically, what the physical and neurological effects of that, and really start to look at how they can use these technologies through disciplines beyond art, beyond what traditionally games engines have been used for. We use industry standard tool sets such as ZBrush, Maya, Unreal Engine, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Adobe Premiere, Substance Painter, and much, much more. We're interested in students that have a great work ethic and are passionate about the subject. And not just the art side of the subject, the technological side of the subject. We want our students to have a producer's mindset where they can be one step removed from the operator's process, from the shop floor process, and they can produce and organize and run a team of operators so they can have a little bit more say in the creative direction, say, steer the ship, to be able to have a lot more creativity and a lot more responsibility and be able to make decisions at a higher level and see projects through to a higher creative degree. Opportunities available to our students after the degree are far-reaching and wide-ranging. The whole point of the degree is about employability and not just pigeonholing students to one specific aspect of these tools and processes that I've been using over 3 years. They will have the skills and the experience to be able to go into traditional games, XR, VR, MR, virtual production, but also how these games engines are being utilized within professional industries. They may be the first person to come in and set up an R&D department inside a cottage industry that's starting to experiment with games technologies.
Right, the wheels are in motion and we're off to a good start. So now I'd like to introduce you to Samuel Fordham, who leads our documentary, photography and print BA Honours course.
Hello, my name is Samuel Fordham. I'm the course leader for documentary photography and print, which takes place here at the Tobacco Factory and also at the Royal Photographic Society in Paintworks. So this course is a brand new approach to photographic education. It's been written with our leading industry partners. So we've identified certain skills that our students will learn on this course, such as graphic design, interactive design, photo book making, 3D imaging, website building, the art of documentary cinema. These are all the things that the photography industry is calling out for from its graduates, and we're giving it to them. So on this course, you study 3 modules at the same time. The first thing you have is your photographic projects, and this is your long-form project, something that you really get to get your teeth stuck into photographically. You choose or you identify the area or the story. You get a whole semester to photograph that area of your practice and make a photographic project out of it. From that, you'll turn it into things like photo books. So you study a module called cross-functional skills, and that's a way for you to take your main projects and turn it into something else using other skills. The last module that you'll do is called photographic practices, and that's modelled on the industry. So that's when we, as the tutors, set you briefs, small assignments for you to go out there and turn around good pictures very, very quickly. And this is a model of the industry. You'll be working on your long personal projects, you'll be developing your skills, and you'll be working on small set assignments by industry. So on this course, we have a luxury of photographic equipment to play with. We have full-frame digital SLRs, we have mirrorless cameras, full-frame mirrorless cameras and crop sensors. We'll also have 35mm analog equipment, medium format analog equipment, and large format analog cameras. And you will be well versed in both digital photography and analog photography. Printing is really, really important to us. We believe photographs should exist in printed matter. And that's why we have a full range of digital print services. We have a large format G-clay printer, so we can literally print fine art photographs. We have Xerox printers to create zines and magazines from. And most importantly, from September 2022, we'll have a fully functioning colour darkroom. So you will learn how to print your photographs from film onto photographic paper and share them to the world. One of the other great things we have here at Boomsatsuma is the access to an amazing photography studio that's fully equipped with all various kinds of LED lights, boom stands, diffusions, grids, flags, anything, you name it, colour gels. You have everything that you need to take your photographic vision and put it into a reality here in this studio. We run an Artist in Residence programme, and that is designed to bring professional artists and photographers to create work here at Boomsatsuma with you. So the block weeks are there for you to work for an entire week on a masterclass with one of these industry professionals, but also to work collaboratively with your cohort. So photography can be seen as a lonely profession, but it's actually an incredibly collaborative practice. And these block weeks are there for you to understand how to work collaboratively with other people to make images and then to get them out there into the world. So we'll be creating photo books, we'll be creating magazines, we'll be having exhibitions, we'll be having street exhibitions and showing your work out there in public. And you will only get that here on this course at Boomsatsuma. This course is for anyone with an absolute passion for images and for someone who wants to spend the rest of their life working with images. Photography is such an amazing passport to the world, so if you're curious about the world or people or life, then this course is for you. And a photographic education will give you much more than the skills than just to be a photographer. It gives you the skills to create a whole career working with images. You could be a photographer, you could be a photographer's assistant, a digitech, you could work for a magazine as a picture editor, you could work in galleries, you could be an agent, you could work in archives, in museums. The field of photography is ubiquitous, it's over everything, and people need graduates who understand the power of images and the meaning of images. And that's what you'll learn here on this course at Boomsatsuma.
Brilliant. Thanks to Samuel Fordham there. I hope you found that really informative. Next up is Freya Billington to tell you about our 2 filmmaking degrees, in which we have pathways in production and in post-production. Which you choose is up to you. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Freya Billington. I'm the course leader of filmmaking, which encompasses production pathway and post-production pathway. And filmmaking is located at Tobacco Factory in Bristol. So filmmaking at Boomsatsuma at degree level is combined of obviously production and post-production pathways. And it's a direct response to quite a few really important things. One is that I've been teaching filmmaking at degree level for the last 10 years, and there are lots of things that I've wanted to do that I haven't been able to until now. Two, Boomsatsuma and the nature and the way that Boomsatsuma works so uniquely embedded within the community and directly with industry. And three, what the film and TV industry are asking us for, what they need our graduates to have when they graduate and they want to move into employment. And three, what the film and TV industry have identified they need graduates to have at the end of their 3 years of study. So the ethos is divided into two real areas of focus. One is how the student develops their own skills, their own voice, what it is that they want to say and make, what it is that they're really passionate about and the area that they hope to develop themselves in. The other one is about really looking at themselves as a professional from the outset and developing the actual soft skills, the technical skills, the software skills, and the connections that they need to be able to move into the industry on graduation. So I'm obviously talking about production and post-production who work together throughout the 3 years but do follow different pathways which are very specific to those skill sets. You will definitely be here at least 4 days a week, and those days will have lectures, seminars, workshops, screenings, all sorts of things going on. But you will also be doing project work your entire time on the course. And some of that project work will take place in those 4 days, and some of it will expand into evenings, Fridays and weekends. And that depends on the project and who it is that you're working with. So I'm really proud of the fact this course is extremely inclusive. What we're looking for is people who are really passionate, who are really engaged, who are excited about film and TV, people who want to move into the industry on graduation, but know that they have a lot of skills that they need to learn and want to come here and take advantage of all the teaching, but also the amazing industry links and contacts that we have. So we're working extremely hard to make sure our students have those skills. They have the necessary communication skills, but they also have experience of working in the industry. And they've also been working on the latest types of technology in terms of kits and software within the industry environment. So when it comes to them going for jobs on leaving here, they are extremely well set up for that. So filmmaking obviously combines 2 degrees, production and post-production, both of which go through some of their studies together, but are also obviously separated more and more as the 3 years go on in terms of their studies, so they can work more specifically in the field that they are interested in. You will expect to be in production or post-production the whole time while you're on this course. You'll be working on at least 1 production, if not more, and you will be here at least 4 days of the week. Often students are here more, using the facilities. We're also extremely encouraging of students making their own independent work, and once you've been trained up and passed all of our workshops, you'll be able to use kit for your individual projects as well. Modules have been designed so that both pathways work separately, but also come together. So for example, take a module like documentary. Whilst the production students are in research, development, going through all the ethical responsibility, looking at all the production paperwork before they shoot, post-production will be working on archive material. How do you cut with material that's already been shot? It's BBC NHU have asked us to focus on this and are going to be supporting it because there is such a need for editors who understand that. The groups then come together and production will have shot by then. That material goes to post-production who work with it, and production will start working in different areas then in prepping and planning something that they then go on to make in the future. So you can see that whilst there is separation in the modules, actually the whole point of having the 2 pathways run together is that they need to, by their very nature, collaborate.
Brilliant. Thank you, Freya. Now the next part of the stream is a really exciting one for us. This year at Boomsatsuma, we've announced the launch of 2 brand new degrees that people can apply for this September. That's our Visual Effects BA Honours degree and our Web Design and Development BSc Honours degree. Here is Lee Scott and John Rowe to tell you more.
Hi, I'm John Rowe. I'm the course leader for visual effects here at Boomsatsuma. The creative industries in the UK contribute £13 million an hour to the UK economy, and despite that there's a huge skills shortage. So the 3-year VFX course is designed to address that need. The idea is to work in small groups, and this intensive tuition will be led by specialist tutors. We are setting up a state-of-the-art lab for people to be taught in, and the range of skills will go across from visual effects through to virtual production. This will take place in a standard industry style environment with specialist equipment, state-of-the-art machines, computers, and all the right software, the latest software. And we're going to teach a whole range of things, from 3D software through to visualization techniques. We're going to teach photography. We're going to be on set as well as in the lab. The VFX course offers the chance to learn the core skills of visual effects, and these are transferable to a multitude of industries. What we're looking at is digital filmmaking for the future, and one of the questions we want to ask is, what does that look like? What does the future of storytelling look like? I think this course will appeal to a huge range of people, because this is what we're talking about here is the future of digital storytelling. So people that might have been interested in a traditional method of making films might have their head turned by the prospect of creating amazing worlds, or amazing environments, or characters from scratch. So the idea that you can create something from nothing is wonderful to me. The idea that you can film something and you can match something synthetic to it perfectly so nobody can ever tell is also wonderful. And it's not just about using these newly acquired visual effects or three-dimensional visualization skills to work in film and TV. You have to remember that these core skills, these three-dimensional design skills, can be used anywhere, particularly on the theatre side. There is so much room there for combining different kinds of storytelling together to create new kinds of stories and new experiences for people. So I can imagine if people understood that the outcome of this is so broad and so transferable that it might appeal to a whole load of people that haven't thought about visual effects before. There's a great opportunity here in the Southwest to work immediately after graduation, and there is a huge shortage of the skills in the industry. So of course it doesn't have to be just around here. There's plenty of opportunity in London and the rest of the country. There are pockets of creative industries all over the UK. But of course, VFX itself, if that's what people are interested in, is a global 24-hour industry. And it's not uncommon for graduates from other UK universities and from, obviously, what we're hoping from Boomsatsuma, to go anywhere in the world to work. What is the VFX course all about? It's basically 3 years of learning and preparation for working in the creative industries. It's all about the final image. Why VFX? Well, this is to empower and encourage a rich and rewarding career in the creative industries. Not only is there a huge shortage of people doing this right now, but it's also an enormous amount of fun. And how do we do this? We do this by teaching the core skills of three-dimensional visualization that allow you to create images at the highest possible quality.
Hello, I'm Lee Scott and I lead web design and development at Boomsatsuma. I'm a creative technologist and I make interactive stories, web experiences and games. I've been designing and developing industry-focused degrees that collide technology and imagination for the best part of 10 years. To describe the course, it's about shaping resourceful, creative and adaptable web technologists. People that can make visually appealing, usable, accessible and satisfying web experiences. We do this through a carefully designed program that guides students through professional workflows and technical pipelines. We cover the fundamentals of web design in Year 1, full stack web development in Year 2, and new and creative uses of the web in Year 3. Everywhere we see a push towards online. It touches almost every sector, from banking, retail and governance, to education, cultural heritage and entertainment. This means that the opportunities available to good web technologists are vast and varied. We need people with the imagination and skills to not only meet rising demands of scale and quality, but to shape the web of tomorrow. Simply put, it's never been a better time to get into web design and development. And what better place to do that than Bristol, a vibrant and connected hub for creative technologies. So why choose this course? Well, one reason is that we spotlight and celebrate the modern web. I find that the web is often only lightly touched upon in computing degrees, and often from a technical perspective only. This can fail to recognise the nuance and scope of the subject. It can also lead to an imbalance between design and development, yet both need to be given equal weight when designing and developing tools, services and experiences for the web. We've got this balance right at Boomsatsuma. Not only do we cover the latest approaches to web development, but also what makes web apps look great, intuitive to use and enjoyable to interact with. It's really important to get a sense of what your learning experience will be like. To sum up web design and development at Boomsatsuma, I'd say it's friendly, supportive, practice-led, co-creative and industry-aligned. It's an active and ambitious course. You won't be sat in large lecture theatres or asked to write essay after essay. Instead, you'll learn in a relaxed and collaborative studio environment where you've got plenty of time to create stunning work that will attract the attention of future employers or clients. Crucially, we keep cohort sizes small, capping at only 20 students a year. This means that we can give you the personal attention, advice and support you need to do your best. You'll be taught by people who are not just educators, but active creative technologists. There's also lots of opportunities to get insider insights from professional web designers and developers along the way. We're looking for students with a genuine desire to explore the potential of the web from both a functional and creative standpoint. There are an enormous number of opportunities out there for good web designers and developers in tech companies, digital agencies, game and animation studios, in retail, healthcare, telecommunications, you name it. It's a really exciting time to learn how to build for the web. And I can't wait to help you take that first step at Boomsatsuma.
And that's all of our courses. I hope you found some really useful information in there that you can take away and maybe consider if one of those options are for you. Now, next up, we've got some of our very lovely students who volunteered their time with us this evening to answer any questions that you've got. Now, whatever device and wherever you're watching this, you should have a chat box on the screen somewhere, so you can just put your questions in there and we'll answer as many as we possibly can. Over to the students. It just got very dark, didn't it? Cool. I just want to start. You can't really necessarily see this from where you're watching at home, but this is sort of quite a very proud evening for Boomsatsuma, because although you can't see it, this is something that we try to get a lot of our students involved in as much as we can. Numbers on the courses are low, and so on purpose they're low, and so getting students involved in as many projects as possible is a really exciting thing for us. And this whole production that you're watching is actually being produced and controlled right now by students behind the scenes. So thank you very much, everyone. We've got some questions coming in, which I can see here on the chat, and these are our students. I mean, we should probably start with an introduction, actually, shouldn't we? Do you want to start with an introduction of who you are, what course you're studying?
I'm Alex, and I'm a game art student. My name's Amber, and I'm a photography student, documentary photography and print.
I'm Kieran, and I'm doing post-production film.
I'm Adam, and I'm on film production.
Excellent, thank you very much. So one of the first questions, no pressure, but one of the first questions that's come in is, what is the best thing you've done in your studies so far? Who wants to start? You can grab it.
I'll take that one. I have to say that I've been really enjoying the amount of practical work we've been able to do so far on the course. In our first term, we made 5 short films, which I wasn't expecting at all, and I was really, really happy with. And yeah, not only getting lots of kind of hands-on experience with the lecturers, but we also got a lot of opportunity to work in groups and work with the other people on the course. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that.
As a photography student, I mean, it might be on the same on other courses, but we've had a lot of opportunities to work with industry professionals. And I think one of the best things is having experienced teachers who I can go to for advice. So I mean, since I've started uni, I've actually had a few jobs and I've had so much help, so much advice, which has been literally life-saving. So yeah, the advice and the experience has been great.
Nice, okay. Alex, you want to join? Tell us about some of your projects, some things that you've done on Game Art.
Yeah, I mean, probably one of my favourite things that I've done so far is just making things, doing really practical work. For example, I've recently been working on a project using VR, and just getting to mess around with that headset, and like being able to throw things and pick stuff up and like teleport around the level. I don't know, it's just great fun, and especially when it's your own environment that you've built from scratch. Yeah, it's just great to be in that sort of, I don't know,
in that world.
Yeah,
busy.
It's good.
Busy. Kieran.
So like everyone else said, it's all the practical work's amazing, but film production and post-production, we work really closely together in the first term, so we just helping create, and we get to use like proper professional software and just dive right into it, and it's amazing. But I really like we get talks every week from people who are working in the industry, and they just have so much invaluable advice, and it's amazing talking to people who've like kind of made it and just know you'll get there one day. It's really inspiring, I think.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Our next question that's come in, I'm actually just going to pause. I'm actually really slightly worried that people maybe at home can't hear us that well. Just before I ask the next question. How are we looking on sound, tech team? Can you hear us through the stream, or are we? And these mics are off? Okay, why don't we take literally take 5 minutes, because I think we've got some questions come in that we really want to answer, and I just want to make sure that everyone's mics are working perfectly. Judy, if you can sort of fade to black, we'll be back in about 2 to 3 minutes. Stay where you are. Sorry about that. Thanks for waiting. I think probably if there's silver linings to anything, I think that gave quite a lot of people more time to think of the question. This is just as well. So, are you ready for this? After all of that, you might have to speak loudly. I'm aware that our audio is going to sound a little bit different. You might have to speak loudly. But where are we? So, okay, let's just go. That's a perfect question to start with. Why did you choose to study at Boomsatsuma rather than anywhere else?
Well, I picked Boomsatsuma because it is far more forward-thinking than other traditional game art courses that I've seen. They keep up really closely to current industry trends and pretty much anything new that happens, and they're right in there, and we start messing around with things. You know, when Unreal Engine 5 came out, we all just sat around together and just played with all of the new tools and stuff, and sharing information together. And I just think I don't know.
Yeah, nice. Anyone else?
Yes. Because
Amber's ready.
no, I saw this question. I'm like, yes, because so I came from London and I applied for 5 unis there. And when I was doing my research, everyone was like, "Stay in London. It's like a creative hub." Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, that sounds great. But when I interviewed with Sam, who's a course leader, everything he was saying about the course was literally exactly what I needed. So a lot of other unis, so like big institutions like UAL, that's actually one of the second best unis for creativity in the world. But it's very much self-led. You have to do your own work, whereas here, it's more training, it's more you've started your career now and you have all the support from the teachers. And so when I had my interview with Sam and Jamie, that's the exact kind of like energy that I got from them, that they're going to support me all the way and push me forward to get to where I want to go. Also this course, the photography course anyway, we work with graphic design, we work with motion, is it motion effects?
Yeah.
Motion graphics.
Motion graphics, we do videography as well. So it's very forward thinking, very progressive and very supportive as well in just building a foundation for a great career. So, and plus Bristol is also a great place for photography and whatnot. So,
in general.
And in general.
Yeah, I completely agree. I personally it was the interview. I had my interview with Elliot and I was kind of immediately really impressed and blown away by the passion of the people running the course, which is something that's obviously really important as a student, that the people who are teaching you are as excited as you are about it. And
sure.
In my acceptance email, I remember you put a little line at the top directly referencing something we'd spoken about in the interview. Just that little personal touch that already made me super excited to come here, even though I hadn't even started yet. So yeah, it's just the passion of the people involved.
Nice.
Well, I was looking for a course that specifically did post-production, and a lot of the places I was looking at, it was either combined with something, or when I was looking at it, it just wasn't really what I wanted. And then I found Boomsatsuma, and I really like the small class sizes, because before I've been in massive classes and you don't feel like you're learning much and there's not much individual time. And again, it was again, I interviewed with you and you said we're going to try and, you're here to get a job. It really solidified, I want to go here because I'm not just getting a degree, it's like training up to be employable, which is kind of why I came to uni personally. And that just really was like, I want to go here, and then now I'm here.
Here I am. Cool. Okay, thank you very much. This is interesting because it's actually interesting to see maybe how much it sort of differs between the courses that you guys are on. But how often are new projects or assignments set?
So the photography course are coming up to the end of their first, 3 assignments that we've been given. So we've got 2 more deadlines, we've just passed one. So that was set in October, beginning of October, late October. So we've got 3 in a row, and then we've got 3 deadlines, 3 in a row. But projects, you're kind of assigned small things to help you towards your assignments, and they're kind of set every week. you might have 2, 3 like small assignments or homework each week. So yeah, but I guess that's all a part of them preparing you for the industry, because really you need to have like 3 or 4 projects on the go, be able to multitask and handle lots of different things.
Yeah.
So it's just one way to set you up.
Yeah, I can second that for game art. Yeah, it's probably about, I'm not sure, somewhere between 3 and 5 assignments per semester, and yeah, they're all sort of happening at the same time, and the cool thing is that a lot of them overlap. So, you know, you're learning something in one module and learning something else in another module, but then you realise, oh, okay, they work together, they make sense together.
Right.
And everything's been quite carefully planned so that, yeah, everything is relevant that you're learning.
Okay.
All the assignments.
I feel like this question like makes people sweat. Because you're just going like, oh yeah, deadlines.
Yeah, it's very similar for film production. I don't think we had quite as much overlap as you guys are talking about, but yeah, we had 5 filmmaking projects in the first semester. We had about 2 to 2.5 weeks for each of them. And then we'd submit, then have a couple of days, and then a new project would be set. So it was a very quick turnover, and we were working in different groups for each project, so it was always something fresh, always something new. You'd be shown an idea, shown a concept, and immediately given the opportunity to put that into practice. So yeah, they're always keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, I do want to say though, like it does sound, there is work, but you're always supported throughout.
Yeah.
So it's not like they just chuck you in the deep end and go, good luck. Like you've always got tutor support and peer support. I just think that's important because it does sound like
and there were adjustable deadlines if people kind of, obviously things happen and you're not always able to hit a deadline, and they were always very understanding, and it was very flexible, and
Nice. Okay. I'm going to take you back a little bit because someone's asked about portfolios and interviews and personal statements. So that will differ for each of you, but I guess, you know, in terms of in your position being on the courses, if you can cast your minds back, any advice for anyone watching?
So I applied and wrote my portfolio without like the support of like an institution, like college teachers or anything. I really did ask my friends for help, and there was a lot of information on UCAS. When I write big projects, what I tend to do is just write what comes to my head first, without thinking about it too much, because then you'll put too much pressure on yourself. There are websites out there where you can actually submit your portfolio to be reviewed by like a portfolio reviewer. I don't know. I think it's with Westminster or maybe Plymouth University. If you check their websites, you can actually submit it to get reviewed.
Nice. Anything else?
Yeah, with film we didn't have to submit a portfolio. It was just a personal statement and then an interview.
And then you sort of brought it, yeah.
So I think that definitely took the pressure off for me personally, and I think a lot of people who are coming into a film degree are doing that because they've never done it before. And I feel like a lot of universities, if they ask for a portfolio, you kind of feel like, oh, I already have to be a filmmaker to start here. And I didn't feel any of that pressure. I just felt, I'm here, I'm presenting myself as a person, I'm presenting my interests, my passions, and I was accepted based on that rather than any skills or talents or work that I'd already produced.
Right. Okay.
I would say for anyone applying for games, the best way to approach your portfolio presentation would be within a website, preferably something like Wix, which is actually what we use to submit our work on anyway. We have throughout the 3 years that we're here, we're building a new portfolio for industry, and we're all building that on a website. So if you can get familiar with the website building and like how you like to present it on there, that would be really good.
One thing I like to say about a photography portfolio is that, I mean, applying for Boomsatsuma anyway, is that like what Adam was saying, you have come here to become whatever you've chosen. So there's no real pressure on having to create like an amazing portfolio, because it's like jobs asking for experience when you're starting a job to get experience. That's not like that's not like it here. But if you do have pictures already, I think it's make it make sure that you show like a range of pictures, a range of, so like a commercial picture or something that's personal, so you show that you can fit into a range of different industries. So that's what really helped me as well. So don't feel like you have to stick to a certain criteria, just show your work, and also with your interview, just be confident and understand that they understand what position you're in.
Yeah, like everyone here is a real person, you know. Everyone here, you know, understands the stress and pressure of applying and having to write about yourself in a personal statement. But just talk about what you're passionate about, talk about what you want to do. Yeah, and be confident in, you know, that you want.
I thought you all loved. I thought you loved writing about yourself. What are you talking about? Anything else to add, Kieran?
I think when I was writing my personal statement, start as early as you can, first of all, and I've just put in a bullet point list, because that definitely helped. I know UCAS, they've got like a somewhere they've got like a bullet point thing where you can note things down, and like just write about your interests, what you enjoy. If you can look online like other film course like general portfolios, and don't copy them because that's bad, but like you can kind of see what is expected, and also use your friends and family to like look over your portfolio. I was quite lucky, I had friends who were already doing film courses. If you've got friends that just like film as well, or photography or games, just ask them to have a look, because they will want to help you. And if you are in an institution, do use their services, because they are there to help.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Nice. Okay. We've only got a couple of minutes left before we sort of have to move on. So I just want to sort of pick some questions. I know there's a load of questions come in. So anyone, if you have put a question in the chat and we don't answer it, that's absolutely fine. We've got sort of really easy ways to contact us after it, and we can come back to you quite easily. This is really difficult to talk about, because I'm not sure there is a typical day, but typical day on your course, if you can do that in sort of maybe 30 seconds or less for me. See how you get on.
God. Come in, get on the computer, get surrounded by your peers. We'll have a lecture for an hour, I reckon, and then it is workshop time. It is, working on projects. You're surrounded by people and your tutors for support.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's kind of it, really.
Making and building.
Yeah, making and building.
So start at 9 or 11, get in. Sam usually has an update about new experiences, new work that's going on. Answer some questions we have about the course, get into work, or sometimes we're in the studio, editing pictures, preparing stuff for a presentation. You can do anything really. I guess there's no set structure. And then we might finish at 12, or we might finish at 2:30, and then you have the rest of the day to do what you want. I mean, we're quite near to the State Centre as well, so maybe do a bit of walk around. There's a park near us, and then go home.
That's Amber's day. Go home anyway. Golden. And on filmmaking?
On time.
You get in, there tends to be a bit of like a lecture about what we're doing, and then like if we're using kit that day, we'll try and get familiar with the kit. When we were doing like making films, meeting your groups, you do all your planning, and then you kind of just go off and do it.
Yeah, it really does depend on whether or not there's a project on at the moment, because if we have a project, we're given a lot of free time to just go and film and shoot and edit and everything, and I think that's really important to just allow us to have that freedom to work by ourselves. But other days we'll maybe be in from 10 till 5 with a break in the middle, 2 kind of 3-hour blocks of lectures with lots of breaks in the middle. We're never sat down for too long, and even when we are sat down, everything's really interesting. We're with Freya or Dave or Marla, and lots of good talks.
Nice, beautiful, thank you. Contact time is a really quick one. Someone's just asked about contact time. I think it's probably a similar thing though, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I think minimum it's 9 hours a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the typical day I just said.
Yeah.
And then on Thursdays, I think it's like a open open room if you want to go and study, and yeah, some people go and meet and do extra work. And then on Friday, depending on what year you're in, so I'm in second year, we've got a studio, like a TV studio, that we can book out and mess around with things like green screen and camera tracking and yeah, all that sort of stuff.
Great.
Yeah, I think it's 9 hours for photography as well, but it's generally more than that because who doesn't need help all the time? I think someone said 18 hours, but I don't know. But we do, there's quite a lot of contact time.
Yeah.
And there's always support when you need it.
Golden.
Yes, it's kind of similar. Minimum maybe 15 hours a week, but we're timetabled in Monday to Thursday. Thursday we're only in the afternoon, and that'll either be a film screening or a talk from an industry professional. And then Monday to Wednesday, either just in the morning or just in the afternoon or in both. And then Fridays we're not timetabled in, so that's a time for us to kind of work on projects or kind of do other things. And so yeah, again, got a lot of freedom within the schedule.
On Fridays, so we can come in because our technical lecturer Marla has like a kit thing, and we can go and like if you're unsure about a piece of kit, she'll go in and she'll talk you through it, and it's just very thorough.
Nice. I'm going to go with one more question that's completely not course related, but I know from my role at Boom that it's just something that people really aren't sure about before they come to us as sort of an independent provider. Accommodation. I don't know if it's going to be different or the same for all of you. It's going to be different because you've had first year and second year, but do you guys want to start with sort of accommodation options? Did you know what was sort of available? How did you sort it? What was the process?
So obviously we're enrolled at Bath Spa University, we're not at Bath Spa, so we don't have that level of support that other universities have when finding accommodation. But in Bristol there are tons of options when it comes to accommodation for first year. So me personally, I'm in a block of student flats. I'm in a studio flat.
Yep.
I know Kieran.
Yeah, I'm in same kind of situation, but I'm in a shared flat with people, private student block. But when so next year me and Kieran and some other people from the film course are going to be moving into a house. I know that there are some people already in houses this year with people from the course, and so I think it's really worth, if you are worried about kind of finding accommodation, it's going to be super easy to get into contact with people that you're going to be on the course with, and then link up with people and find somewhere to live with them, because you're going to be spending the next 3 years with them anyway, so it's a good opportunity to kind of make those friends early.
Yeah.
So I'm actually not in a flat or a student block. Like what Adam said, we don't have support from Bath Spa, but I actually started pretty late. So when I looked at all of the student accommodation, it was extortion. It was so pricey. So I don't know if I encourage this, but I looked on Facebook for housemates, and then we found a house through that. Yeah. And I mean, they're actually really nice people, and it was a good experience. It was hard, but it was interesting because I'd never lived to people that I'd met on Facebook before. But it worked out for the best, and now we're probably going to move into a house next year. So
nice. Okay.
Off that, I will say, if you are kind of nervous about accommodation, if you've never lived away from home before, it's impossible to start looking too early, especially in Bristol. Start looking really early, because otherwise you will be pushed up to the higher end of the price range, or you'll be forced to do something that you might not be comfortable with in terms of a living situation. So I would say, try and start looking for stuff really early. Yeah,
and just to sort of wrap that up, then that's why we always sort of recommend early applications, because we've sort of developed guides now, like sort of PDF guides for people to have a look, and it's just the earlier the better, because you've got plenty of options in terms of student halls, like you say, you've got studios, you've got shared flats, you've got private accommodation and that kind of thing. And I'm guessing you...
Yeah, I'm also private accommodation.
Private accommodation. Brilliant.
Everyone's on them, you will find housemates.
Great. All the students starting in Bristol that year. We haven't got any time for any more questions. Thank you so much for everything. If you have asked a question there, that's absolutely fine. Please do just get in touch by email or with the actual live chat button that's on boomsatsuma.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Brilliant. I hope you had some of your questions answered there. Now, if you didn't get your question answered, that's absolutely fine. We have a live chat box that's always there on our website. Just type your message in there and one of us on the team will get back to you. Now, we're going to take a very, very short break whilst our staff join us for the staff Q&A panel. So we'll see you in 5 minutes. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. Our students didn't just grow up into these people, but joining me are our lecturers of our degree programmes, who I think we should have introduced. Who wants to introduce themselves first? Lee, would you like to go first?
Yeah,
Start on the left.
Yeah.
Hello.
So I'm Lee Scott, and I'm the course leader for web design and development.
Brilliant.
I'm Freya Billington, and I'm the course leader for filmmaking production and filmmaking post-production.
I'm Samuel Fordham, I'm the course leader for documentary photography and print.
And I'm Greg Jameson, I'm the course leader for game art.
Wonderful, thank you. One of us is joining us remotely. John, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm John Rowe. I'm the course leader for visual effects.
Wonderful, that's quite ominous, isn't it? There's a voice just in the room. Hi, John. Thank you so much for joining us. I suppose we should jump into some questions, because actually there's a fair few for us to answer, and what's helpful is they're fairly specific to the courses. So I think we'll start with John, because this question is about visual effects. Is visual effects, it's quite funny, all Star Wars and Marvel films?
Yeah,
great
of course
question.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all Star Wars. That's all there is to it. No, it's everything. They're everywhere. Invisible effects appear in film and TV shows all over the place. Visual effects are in television commercials. Visual effects are in pretty much everything that you watch. So it's not just about that. But I mean, this is the whole point of coming to study with us, you see. We're going to teach you all about this. If you want to work on Star Wars films, then that's fine. And I know plenty of people who have done that very thing by going to study visual effects at an institution like Boomsatsuma, and they go off and have very successful careers, and that's what we're trying to create down in Bristol.
Brilliant, thank you. Speaking of Bristol, John, just to actually keep you on there, jobs afterwards in Bristol in particular, someone's asked about jobs in Bristol. Can they sort of stay in Bristol for employment after their degree?
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. It's such a creative hub down in the southwest, and there are one or two very well-known visual effects and animation companies in Bristol. I mean, who doesn't know Aardman, for example, who created Wallace and Gromit? I mean, they are one of Bristol's finest exports, and there's some terrific companies like Moonraker, who do VFX and immersive stuff. There's Axis VFX as well. There's a whole raft of people, and of course you've got Cardiff just up the road, and there's more people there like Bates Studios, and then you go, and then if you want to, you go down the M4 into London, and of course that's where there's a huge thriving visual effects industry. But yeah, why go there when it's all in Bristol?
Does anyone else want to pick up on that in terms of jobs after your degrees, particularly in Bristol, for those that want to stay put?
I mean, I will. Bristol's going through a massive boom.
Nice.
What I did there. Sorry, but yeah, no, I mean, the industry, the film and television industry and the games industry and the visual effects industry are all absolutely thriving in Bristol at the moment, to the point where I was shooting something in the summer and trying to get crew was very difficult because everybody was working. Our film studios here, the Bottle Yard Film Studios, that is one of the partners of our courses, is expanding. I think it's doubling in size, and there's projects there from all over the world, filming all the time. And the post-production houses are booming. Again, sorry, I'm not even using that word deliberately, but that is the only word. There's the amount of work here in Bristol, and what's wonderful is because all the companies are expanding, there's a huge amount of entry-level positions. And people are moving up very quickly from entry-level positions because there's such a need for those skills. So for me, Bristol and the partners we're working with is a very huge part of why you would want to come and study on the course.
Right, nice. Anyone else, Sam?
Yeah, well, just to talk about like a boom, like Bristol really is like a central hub for photography in the UK now, if not in Europe. Like I know people who are moving from the continent over to Bristol just because it's got such a good scene. Like we have the Royal Photographic Society's moved here, which we partner with, and our students study there. It's the Martin Parr Foundation. The Bristol Photo Festival has started, which is this incredible festival that runs all year round. fair. You've got the Arnold Feeney, which shows some amazing shows. You've got some big publishers, RRB. You've got more independent publishers like Besides Press. They're all working out of Bristol. Some fantastic photographers and artists working directly from Bristol. It's just got amazing.
It's busy.
It's really, really busy there. It's great to be part of.
Golden. Lee, just to sort of hand over to you on something different. We've got a different question coming in, which is actually a really interesting one, because obviously web design and development is a new degree for us, which is very exciting. Someone's asked what sort of tools you're going to use on that course. What are you going to teach people?
Cool. Quite a big question.
It's a big question. You ready?
Also, as well, just on the last point, if I can.
Yeah.
The tech sector is booming alongside the creative industries in Bristol, and lots of scale-ups, lots of startups, and all those people need good quality web designers and developers, so it's a fantastic place to be.
Good place to get into.
But in terms of tools, the first thing I would say is that there's a huge range of tools out there for web design and development. Just for the development side, you have different CSS frameworks for styling and front-end frameworks for structuring all your components, and there's all the back-end stuff.
Yeah.
And it can be very confusing to someone new to the field to find your way through that. And one of the things that we are very keen to do in the Boomsatsuma course is to help students navigate that journey, know when to reach for certain tools when you need to do that. But in terms of our approach, we take a JavaScript everywhere approach, which means we kind of focus on one language, and there's two reasons for that.
Okay.
The first reason is because lots of startups are using JavaScript, so people are building new products and experiences are kind of starting from that end. And the second reason is if you can develop really high quality skills in JavaScript, you're not going to be short of opportunities. Because it's a hugely popular language and that kind of thing. Specific tools, I can give some examples. So for sure, working with React, working with Node, Express, these things will be familiar.
Everyone's going, what?
Unfortunately. Jamstack architectures, third-party APIs and cloud services that again work with JavaScript. And then all the stuff that sort of exists on the periphery as well.
Yeah.
Obviously lots of design tools, Adobe Creative Cloud and Figma, and all sorts of stuff you expect to see in industry, effectively.
Sure, golden. And I'm just going to actually, because this question I think links to game art for you. We're there's all this talk of tools and development, and someone's just asking, do the courses have a creative element? Where does sort of their own creativity come in if they're a creative student?
Absolutely. We're actually pretty adamant about leaving the assessments ambiguous to some extent to allow for that creativity. There's a lot of wiggle room within each assessment. Within the modules themselves, they're designed so that people can pick a particular pathway that they're interested in, whether it's in web, I want to focus on, building apps, or I want to focus on, cyber security.
Right.
Game art, it could be, I want to build 3D assets, I want to be an animator, as long as it all takes place inside the games engine, that's kind of what we care about. But the creativity side, we're very adamant that the students pick those projects, the theme and the content, and the assessments and the pathways adapt as they kind of figure out what it is that they want to do. Yeah,
that's really interesting. I just want to bring John in on something which is sort of a follow-up question to this. With visual effects as an example, does someone have to have studied visual effects before sort of joining the course? Do they need to know how to use all of the software?
No, not at all. No. I mean, it'd be helpful if you can switch the computer on.
That's day one.
That would be good. That would be a good start. But I mean, we teach the core skills from the ground up, and so there's no need to have studied visual effects in the past. It's not just about the computer course either. It's all about being on set, and it's about photography, and it's about visual effects photography, not the photography that Sam's doing. We don't use cameras in the same way. So there's a whole load more to it than that. We're also going to be filming, obviously, with green screen, which is a visual effects technique. We're doing all sorts of stuff. There's motion capture in the second year. We're looking at virtual production techniques. We're looking at immersive storytelling. We might dip off into XR and extended reality and all the different areas there as well. But no, you don't need to study VFX. We're gonna start at the beginning and take you on a fabulous journey, somewhere very interesting, and who knows where it could end up.
Golden, thank you. Freya.
Hello.
I've got a question that's come in that's, I mean, do you, do you want to answer this? What are the main differences between the film course at other local universities and at Boomsatsuma?
The university that I was running the course at.
The university that you ran at, that
it's
one.
an interesting course. Look, you know, I've run, this is the third course that I've run, but this is the only course. So I ran GLOS and I ran UE, and I did a huge amount of changes on both of those courses when I ran them, very successfully. And this is the first time I've ever been able to literally design what I thought should be in a course right from the outset. And that kind of links to, I was going to kind of interrupt and say something anyway, in line with what kind of Greg and John and everyone is saying actually, which is, for all of us, we keep mentioning startups and we keep talking about the energy of Bristol generally. All of us are here with this energy because we've been given the freedom to directly respond to the industry, to actually enable our students to learn the skills they need to learn the actual skills by our, not just our, look, we've got lovely logos on our website of companies in Bristol, but our direct relationships with Films at 59 in our case. So we're teaching up their workflow for our post-production students at the moment. BBC Factual, we're teaching their workflow for production for our students at the moment. Everything that everyone else is saying. And because we're startups, we have the kind of flexibility and energy that Greg's talking about in terms of teaching key skills in direct parallel with developing your creativity, finding your ideas, getting you to get what really interests you. Let us help you develop that, but also teach you the way that you need to do that so it's something you can go and do professionally. You know, UE is a great course. I designed it. It's really different in a lot of ways. There's a lot of structural similarities. I'm no interest in putting down or not putting down any of the courses. I think it's about you finding where it is that you want to go. Because I think people are very different, and I think different courses suit different people. One of the huge differences is that we're all small. Our courses are small and they're deliberately small. All of us could have taken more students, but all of us agreed. One of the big things that drew me in was capping the numbers so that I could know every single student really well. And anyone here, we know them. Which means not only can we expand their opportunities within our own course, but between the courses. So the chance to develop with VFX and with games and with photography, and how might that link to the website. I mean, the fact is, that's how the industry works. That's why Bristol's such a hub, is there's all of these things going on, not just one in isolation. So I think it's about looking at courses and working out what's for you. This is very immediate. You have to work really hard. You have to do a lot of different subjects, a lot of different things at the same time, but you're also working in much smaller groups. And you are working very specifically with workflow and in post and production that I have never taught anywhere else. We also, for another, sorry, I will shut up, but one other example is our first semester students edited professional drama rushes into a scene. I have never been able to teach that before. and they don't quite know how lucky they are. Even though I keep telling them. So for me, that's the huge difference. Is it's direct and it's immediate and it has the flexibility that Greg described.
I wonder if I can say the small cohort thing is a really important factor. For me, I'm on my second year now. Having run that, not just being able to have that one-to-one attention, but the feedback is so much more nuanced and so much more personal, and can be delivered in a multitude of ways. You can build up a relationship that you just don't get the opportunity to do in a larger institution. That's another really appealing factor for us as who are delivering the curriculum. That you get to design it, get to deliver it the way you want to, and it feels more organic. It feels more natural. It feels like the way this stuff should be done.
Nice.
Organic is a great word.
Okay. Well, linking to that then. So that's internal, that's sort of students working with each other. Another question that's come in is what ways do you involve the industry into the course? How does sort of industry work with your students? I guess that's open, so whoever wants to grab it. Yeah, go for it.
So for us, we have a commercial workflow that runs in parallel with our academic schedule. So every semester we bring in professional clients that we know through our networks, through our commercial contacts as well. And they will deliver briefs, and students will respond to a professional brief so that they actually have commercial experience from day one. Okay, you might not make a game in the first semester, but you might make a component of a game, such as working on animation for a commercial client. Take the logo, animate it. And in fact, year twos have 5 commercial contracts under their belt in their first year, and further
Nice.
now I've got 2 commercial contracts they're working on currently.
Right.
So at the end of your degree, you get your degree, you get your portfolio as well, your front of house, show everyone what you can do, technically and artistically, but you also get 3 years commercial experience, which I don't know anywhere else that you could get that while studying.
Yeah, that we've had the similar experience as well. We're coming to the end of our first semester, but like my cohort, our class has already had about 7 or 8 gigs like come through.
So
the
do
course.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, and they're getting paid. Like the students are literally getting paid within the first few weeks of their education to take photos, to design things for exhibitions that could be happening in Bristol and in Africa, to make videos. It's amazing. It's really an amazing thing, and I think one of the reasons is because we keep it small and we can distribute those jobs amongst the students.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it otherwise.
Sorry, go on. Yeah.
I think it goes without saying that you'll be involved in projects with professional developers and that kind of thing, or that sort of thing you're going to have to do, and that makes a lot of sense. But for me, one of the really, really important things is to recognise the pace in which web design development is moving all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And the way to keep up with that is to be in regular contact, is to be working with companies and freelance developers and the developer community more generally to figure out where things are going, what people are using. So one of the key ways of engaging industry is to listen to them and respond to what they have to say, and make sure the course is nimble enough to be able to incorporate those new techniques and approaches is the way to go.
I think again you're talking to a lot of people who still work in the industry. We're all still practitioners. We're still making work. So we're not just cold calling these companies that we work with. We're calling mates. We're calling friends. We're calling people that we've done projects with. As well as all this work we're doing with BBC and films at the moment, we've had loads of students, several of who are behind the cameras, have already gone and done work experience with Cine West, who've set up a direct relationship with us. We had Chris from VI Rental in today. He ran a workshop for a couple of students. He's doing another one I think it's next week. We've been on DIY SOS. A lot of us were taken on set. We were given lunch. But we also met the whole crew. And we've had students on Antiques Roadshow and going on to Gardener's World. Because it's about getting as much experience and as much kind of awareness of how it all works as possible. And we had, basically a location manager, one of the top location managers. She's Australian, actually, based in Australia, but she came in and talked about how they did things like Hacksaw Ridge and Alien, and it's about linking all those kind of factors together because all of us live in that world.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Sorry. Go on.
Go on. Something else that we do on the photography course. We run a residency program, so this is really unique.
It's nice.
Photography, courses. We run a residency program. We have 6 artists in residence working within our spaces and facilities, and they create work over the course of their residency. But it's also an opportunity for the students to work alongside them and to learn from them over that extended period of time. And the resident artists also deliver week-long masterclasses for our students as well. So over the course of the 3 years, they'll have a network of 18 working professionals. By the time they've
spent a week with.
So that's great.
Really cool. Okay, just before I go on to the sort of the last thing that I want us to sign off with, John, have you got anything to add about that in terms of working with industry? How do you sort of envisage that being on visual effects for your students?
Got any contacts, John?
Got any? Yeah, you got any mates?
I've got 1 or 2. Yeah. No, it's absolutely vital. I mean, Lee hit the nail on the head there. There's no point in talking to the industry unless you listen to them and respond. And that's what we do. I mean, the visual effects BA course has been written in conjunction with the local people in Bristol who work at the companies I mentioned already. It's also working in conjunction with a whole load of people who are advising me personally at some of the biggest companies in the world. People who make Star Wars, people who make all these amazing, fantastic beasts and all these sort of things. These are the contacts. These are our contacts. These are our friends. These are our co-workers. These are the people that I've been working with for 35 years. So we kind of do know a few people, and it is very important to make sure that you listen to what they say and that the course is adaptable. So it doesn't. I'm very surprised if the course stays the same over the next few years, because it has to constantly keep up with technology and what the industry is looking for. So it's absolutely critical that we have this good relationship, and being current practitioners really helps, you know. And so we're always looking to see what's out there and trying to get people involved. I think that's
Wonderful.
it.
Thank you. We've literally, I mean, especially because we lost 10 minutes with audio, we have run out of time. But what I would like to finish on, if it's okay, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What are you excited about in your field? Yeah, not just like what you're having for dinner, but what are you excited about in your professions?
I'm permanently quite excited by what we're doing. And it was really lovely. My students came back on Monday, and it was really lovely. I'm excited that we're doing industry-specific training now. I'm excited about the next couple of filmmaking projects that are coming up. This semester is really different to the first semester in terms of the way that we do it.
Yeah.
I'm excited that we're going to continue our Thursday afternoon screenings, which is one of my favourite things, where we all sit in our room and we watch a very large range of films and then we discuss them. And I'm excited by all the opportunities that are being created constantly and all the time. I'm excited that some of the work that we're going to be making over the next couple of months will be work that is outward facing. Some is client based, some is working with charities, and some is work where about people subjects that the students feel really strongly about, and that for me is really exciting.
Nice, brilliant. Lee?
I'm excited to get going.
Roll on September.
It's a new course, and you know what? I'm so proud of it. It's so carefully designed. We've really spent a hell of a lot of time with this, work with the right people to get us together, and you know, I think it's the sort of thing that the industry needs, frankly. So
brilliant.
join us and let's
web designers come.
Web technology of the future.
Wonderful, thank you. Greg?
I'm looking forward to my new first years come to the end, but I'm also looking forward to the second years being able to show what they've been doing for this year, and the wow factor of what they've actually been able to pull off. What is nowadays considered domestic equipment. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing those big projects and pulling all their skills and all their assets together and bringing their universities to life. And
nice.
being able to sort of show it to the world.
Well, we had Alex on just before you, so he's sweating over deadlines. It's it's very exciting. I'm just going to go to John just before Sam, you finish us off. John, are you there? What are you excited about?
Oh, lots of things. I'm particularly excited about the fact that despite pandemic, Brexit, and everything else, the creative industries are absolutely thriving in the UK.
Right.
And there is so much coming up in the future as well as now. All the studios around the UK are fully booked for the next 5 years. We have work and opportunity coming out of our ears in this country. And so it's up to people like Boomsatsuma to provide the next generation of people to go and create all this wonderful work and entertain people and educate people and inform people in the future.
Nice.
You've got to top that now.
Thank you, John. Yeah, top that one.
What are you excited about?
I'm excited, about a lot of things. We've on the first week back in semester 2, my students are doing a week-long masterclass with the Besides Press publishers. They're Bristol-based publishers who have just done some really amazing work recently. The students are going to shoot over the course of 4 days and then put up a show and have a public exhibition for everyone in Bristol to come to.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to. We're going to be working with the Photographers Gallery in London. The students are going to be doing some tours of shows in London, so they get to research various works and go up there and give tours to the public. Excited to be at the RPS still. We do Mondays at the RPS and making the most of their facilities and staying in touch with the Martin Parr Foundation. What else am I excited about? I'm excited to see the new year, to see our first years become second years, and for it to start turning into a.
We're also quite excited because me and Sam and a lot of students are going to Berlinale in a month. So, despite Omicron and Brexit's best efforts,
it's happening. It's happening.
Lots of students to Berlin,
very
which
exciting.
will be wonderful.
They never stop.
Never stop.
In the best way. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, all. I think that's all we've got time for. So, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. If you did ask, I know there's loads of questions on that TV, so if you did ask a question that didn't get answered,
Do email
please,
us.
yeah, just email us. There's a live chat bubble on the website, Facebook, Instagram, all those things where you can speak to people. Do that. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Goodbye. Should we do a wave? Okay, thank you so much for joining us for that. Just a couple of things to wrap us up. At Boomsatsuma, we keep the places on our courses fairly limited. We do that not just because it makes the quality of the course a lot better for those that are on it, but also it means that our team can really support you one-to-one. Things like student accommodation, which is in and around Bristol, both private halls, student properties, all of those things are available and easily accessible to you. And things like student finance, usually you'll start off absolutely fine, but if you bump into something where you just need a bit of help, we're always just an email or call or a live chat message away. We can support you with that. What I would say in terms of next steps is use the chat box on our website. There's a live chat. If you go to boomsatsuma.com, you'll see at the bottom right, there's just a chat box. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us something you've made recently. Tell us something you're doing either in your own time or in sixth form or at school. We'd love to hear about the things that you're making or just the things that you're interested in. What do you want to learn? What would you want to get out of a university experience? That's the best way for you to introduce yourself to us. If it feels like it's the right fit for you, then we'll move forward. We'll start to tell you about how you can book an interview time with us in January, February, March, which is when we're running them. We'll tell you about how to apply for a UCAS, answer any other questions you've got, that kind of thing. So thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you giving up your time. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you found it informative and that you can reach out to ask us any further questions you have. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.